Hola. 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 I'm Leeny Del Seamonds, and I'm a storyteller. And as most of you know who are storytellers, we often do school shows. How many of you like to do school shows? I love school shows. It's a huge part of my business. They make me happy, they sing to my heart, they keep me on my toes, and sometimes they're memorable. A while back, I had the pleasure of doing an all-kindergarten school show. And as the little children filed into the lovely gymnasium, they all sat down straight across in rows, and teachers, of course, were on the sides. And I always smile and talk to them, and they ask questions like, what are you going to do? Are you going to do a magic show? Because I have a sparkly tablecloth, so they think it's, and I always say, no, but I'm going to do magic of the mind. Ooh. So I started off the show with a little song, warm them up. Bienvenidos, mis amigos, welcome my friends, ¿Cómo están? How are you? And all the little kids were sitting there going, I thought, these are wonderful. They're engaged, they're smart, they're great, they're sitting crisscross applesauce right across a row. But as I looked down, there was a little boy there, and he had his elbows resting on his little thighs and his hands under his chin, and he wasn't doing any gestures, but he just looked kind of calm, and I thought, he's a good listener. So I kept going, and I was into the first story. It was a Russian tale about a little snow child, and the wind was blowing, and she sings a little, I am a child, and all the kids are sitting there really watching everything I'm doing. So I'm making my eye contact and having a great time, and I kept looking at the little boy, and now his eyes were like starting to close, and I thought, that's nice, because some listeners love to listen calmly and with their eyes starting to doze a little, and that was fine. And all the kids next to them were really engaged, so I kept going and telling the story and telling the story, and as I looked down, again, now his head was starting to bob, and he started to sink into his body. Well, I didn't care one bit. He was fine. That was his way of listening. I'm telling the story, and now the wind is coming, and the snow child is having a great time teaching them how to build all these great snow vehicles and castles, and things are going great. The other kids are all listening and watching, and then I look, and there he has his head laying on the floor, the cold wooden floor, and now his eyes, and he's completely out. Did not faze me one bit. Kept going with the story. All the little faces are watching me, but out of my peripheral vision, there was a body. It was one of the teachers, and she was crawling on all fours, coming really slowly across the front, and I'm watching her, and I'm telling the story, and then the snow child started to melt and drip, and I'm seeing da-da, 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 and I'm thinking, why the hell are you even there? But she, all of a sudden, she reaches over and she starts nudging at this sleeping child, and I wanted to stop and say, leave him alone, he's enjoying the story in his own way, but she nudged him one last time. He stopped. He looked right up. He burst into tears. And then he right in front of my feet. And I just paused for a minute from the story, and I was going to stop, but the kids were still sitting there like this. So I kind of like moved a little bit, and I continued with the story, and then this time the teacher, she was still there, and she's whispering to me, I'm sorry, I'm really sorry. I'm going, and I kept doing the story, and she took him, and she moved him all the way back with her, sliding him along. He was whimpering all the way back to her little teacher spot. And without missing a beat, in came the janitor, and he had a little bucket and a little scoop. Must have happened often in these kind of assemblies. And he scooped up everything, and I was like going to stop, but again the kids were like, so I kept talking, and I'm watching this thing, and then he cleans it all up, and away he went. And we got to the end of the story, and I thought to myself, man, oh man, do I love school shows. They keep me on my toes. They put a smile on my face. and sometimes they warm my heart.